Amidst growing confusion and uncertainty over agreeing on a peace deal between Taliban and the US, the extremist insurgent group has continued its attack on American and Afghan troops in various provinces of Afghanistan. Recently, Taliban terrorists killed 2 Americans and 1 Afghan soldier as they opened fire on the troops while they were engaged into a training session. The attack on soldier was followed by a suicide attack on civilians in Afghan capital Kabul. The consistent terror attacks over NATO troops and civilians has certainly brought the process of peace talks to a puzzling point where the deadlock does not seem to be ending soon. Newsweek South Asia brings you a detailed report. At least 6 people were killed and 13 others wounded after a suicide bombing explosion struck outside a military university in the western side of Afghan capital Kabul this week. The explosion occurred in Char Rahi Kambar locality where 4 military personnel and 2 civilians were reported dead after the blast.
ولی دیدم خوشبختانه که در منطقه بجز از چند از اشخاص که نیروی دولتی ما بودن ولی اشخاص ملکی نبودن دیگه گرچه صداشون خیلی خطرناک بود ولی با خودمون صبح خیلی وقت بود دیگه کسی زیاد اوگار نشدن و به کسی زیاد صدمه هم نرسیدن
شجاعت زیاد بود که کفید بیخیان مرا ترسوندم جای مرا بیخی شور داد شیشه را بیخی زد میده کرد موساد بادش کرد دیگه که باز خستم من وضعیت از یار دیدم من مرده و زخمی را دیدم دیگه پس شیشتم اونجا یک چند دقیقه بودم که باز اردو اینجا آمد.
Prior to the attacks on civilians, the terrorists had targeted US and Afghan forces in eastern Afghanistan. Afghanistan's defense ministry in a statement said the attackers opened fire on Afghan National Army members and US forces, killing 1 Afghan soldier and wounding 3 others alongside the American soldiers. The exchange of fire between the forces came amid Afghan President Ashraf Ghani's claim of notable progress in talks between the United States and the Taliban on an agreement of a US troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. Following Ghani's remarks, US Defense Secretary Mark Esper also announced that the United States and the Taliban had negotiated a proposal for a 7-day reduction in violence.
The United States and the Taliban have negotiated a proposal for a 7-day reduction in violence. I'm here today consulting with allies about this proposal, and we've had a series of productive bilateral and collective meetings about the path forward. We've said all along that the best, if not only, solution in Afghanistan is a political agreement. Progress has been made on this front, and we'll have more to report on that soon, I hope.
Speaking after a meeting of the NATO-led Resolute Support Mission for Afghanistan, Esper told reporters the deal was condition-based and warned there would be a continuous evaluation process.
It is our view that 7 days for now is sufficient, but in all things, our approach to this process will be conditions-based. Let me say it again, conditions-based, so it will be a continual evaluative process as we go forward, if we go forward.
The talks had been deadlocked in part over a US demand that the insurgents agree to sharply reduce violence as part of any American troop withdrawal record. There are about 13,000 US troops as well as thousands of other NATO personnel in Afghanistan, 18 years after a US-led coalition invaded the country following the September 11, 2001 Al-Qaeda attacks on the United States.